Hello! Welcome to my channel. My name is Krista Llewellyn and I am a makeup artist and a makeup educator. And today we have a really special spooky treat for you. So I recently reached out onto my social media platform to ask for more models, and prior to doing that, I actually responded to another person's call to collaborate. So today's gonna be a little bit of a collaborative effort. The person who I responded to their Instagram call was Zoe. You can follow them here on Instagram. I worked with Zoe a long time ago on a UCLA student film. We've followed each other on social media for a long time, and they recently put a call out to collaborate with other artists, and so I answered that call. We're gonna do an alien look today. One of the big things that I wanted to focus on while I was doing this makeup is give it a little bit of a gender neutral vibe to it. My model Zoe is non-binary and uses they them pronouns, and they really wanted this to sort of reflect that as well. And personally, I loved that idea because whenever I see aliens, they're either just like normal male, boring, your typical like round head, big-eyed aliens. And then whenever you see female aliens, or what I like to call alien babes, they are always super feminine, very sexualized, and I wanted something a little bit in the middle. So I sort of just combined efforts into this to create a non-binary space teen. And I'm super excited for this alien look because it's another collaborative effort between me and DYAD Effects. DYAD Effects is a prosthetics company run by my two friends, Kat and Nico. You may recognize them from the show Face Off, and they have a bunch of really beautiful, beautiful pieces. So today I have a set of their alien ears, and I have wanted to apply these since I saw them do a alien makeup at IMATS, probably like either 2019 or 2018, I can't remember because pre-pandemic time is what? But I have wanted to apply these ears so bad ever since then, and I'm so happy that I was able to have this opportunity to do so. So I have ears from DYADFX, and then I also have a third eye piece that was sculpted and run by my friend Kat. You can follow her here on Instagram at Kat Calico. And these are another one of those prosthetics that when I first saw them, I was immediately like, I need to put this on someone's face. So thank you again to my friends Kat and, well, they're two friends named Kat. So thank you to Kat and Nico, and then my other friend Kat as well. I'll leave their handles below so that you can give them a follow. And I'll also link below the website for DYAD Effects if you ever are in need of any prosthetic pieces. They make foam latex, silicone, and prosthetic transfers. And you can kind of find whatever it is that you need for your job, you can find on their website. And last but not least on my little collaborative effort for this video is my good friend Rachel. Rachel and I met a long time ago in San Francisco. We were former roommates, and she works as a club photographer, taking pictures of musicians and patrons of, you know, various clubs and things like that. So I wanted her to come in to actually shoot this alien makeup. I really wanted to go for sort of like a spacey teen vibe, almost like Alien meets Nylon, and I knew that she was going to be able to pull that off for me. Plus, I'm not the best photographer. So lots of people involved with this video today, which is super exciting. I want to keep this up. I want to be able to collaborate with more people as COVID allows. So without further ado, let's get spooky. So this is Zoe. They're very excited. First, we're gonna prep with a little bit of witch hazel. It's always good to prep the face to make sure that there is no oil or any residue, dirt, anything like that that's gonna get in the way of gluing the prosthetics. Then I'm gonna go in with some Skin Saver. Skin Saver helps to create a barrier between the skin and the glue or adhesive or any paint that you would want to put on the face. And it also doesn't disturb the glue. So it's not something that's oily and it's not going to dissolve the glue over time. Then I'm going to go in with a medical tape called Opsite. This is going to become a barrier between their hair and the prosthetic ears. The ears are pretty big, and so they would glue into their hair, and usually these would go on something like a bald cap. And instead of putting a bunch of glue in their hair, I'm going to prep a little bit of Opsite on it and then glue the prosthetic to the Opsite. Next, I'm going to go in with some Prosthetic and the prosthetic ears, which are already pre-prepped with some Pax paint. And I'm going to glue all over the ear, making sure to do only a thin amount. You don't want it to be milky looking. It should look clear. And then once it's totally clear and dry, I'm going to press on the prosthetic. Then I'm going to go through and glue any edges that are still left unglued. It's always best to start in the center of the prosthetic, gluing that first, and then leaving the rest of the edges to be glued on afterwards in case you need to stretch it. Then I like to take the edge of my brush and roll the edge onto the skin, and that helps to really press that edge down. And there is a fully applied ear. You want to go ahead and do the other side, making sure that they don't look too crooked, and gluing around the edges. Then I'm going to go through with some Prosthetic Bondo. Mine is just a mixture of Prosthetic and Cabosil. I mix it into sort of like a thick paste, and I'm going to go all around the edges, scooping it against the edge and then feathering it out. Then I'm going to go through with a little tiny red sponge and stipple a little bit of that Prosthetic Bondo on top of it after the other stuff has dried, and that will help to give a little bit of texture. That way the transition from the prosthetic to the skin doesn't look too smooth, and it sort of blurs it a little bit. Now I'm going to be applying the third eye prosthetic. This is a silicone prosthetic, so it will have a different glue. First I want to position it, see where I want it to be placed. Then I'm going to take some Telesis 8 and some of its thinner or modifier, and using a little bit of a combination of the two, I'm going to glue in the center, placing the prosthetic on, and then gluing around the edges. You want to use Telesis for this. Prosthetic isn't exactly a strong enough adhesive to hold on to silicone prosthetics, so you want to make sure you get a silicone adhesive. Then I'm going to go with some acetone and a Q-tip. And I like to have a powder puff if I'm doing this above the eyes in case it drips. And with a wet Q-tip, you're going to go around and roll the Q-tip on top of the skin to melt away the edge. You don't want it to be dripping, just wet enough to actually melt the edge. Then I'm going to go through with that Bondo and stipple it around the edge, again, creating an easier transition. Then I'm going to go with a little bit of the extra packs that I have from the ears and place that on top of the edge. You want to make sure you fully seal a foam latex piece. Then I'm going to take my Iwata Eclipse and some Endura N1, and I'm going to paint that all over the ears. Now the reason why I painted them pink underneath, once I add that flesh tone on top of it, it will read a little bit more like skin. Since we do have blood and other things sort of coursing through our body, it gives it that warmth. When you are painting something like foam to look like skin, it's best to underpaint it with a little bit of pink. I'm going to take some W1 and airbrush that on top of it. I wasn't very happy with the first color choice I made. I thought it was a little too pink and a little too light, so I wanted to counteract that with a little bit of a warmer tone. Though they're still a little yellow. And I'm going to place that on top of the third eye prosthetic. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit of mauve in the Endura palette. I'm going to spatter that on top of the ear. This again helps to create a little bit more warmth, especially for ears. This will help to create a more realistic looking skin tone. Next I'm going to go through and prime the skin with my Makeup Forever Hydro Booster Primer. Add that all over, not on top of the prosthetics, just on top of the skin. Then I'm going to go with the green primer that they have and hit all of the areas of redness. Then I'm going to go through with the peach primer just underneath their eyes, counteract any blue. Then using my Graftobian HG cream in their color, adding that all over their skin. And again, I want to just hit their skin and not the actual prosthetic. Then going in with some Kryolan Dermacolor in a shade that is slightly lighter than their skin tone, and I'm going to place that underneath their eye. Next, I'm going to go through with an eye primer from Inglot. Just evenly distribute that all over their eyes. And buff on that concealer color. Next, I'm going to take some RCMA No Color Powder, powder the eyelids. And then powder the rest of the face. Next, I want to mix my purple color using some Alchemy Cobalt, some Endura Prime Blue, and some Endura Rose. And I add that all over. After doing the ears, I'm going to add some little stripy texture bits to the skin. And I really want this to contour the face a bit, sort of framing out the eye. And with this one, I really wanted to carve out their face and make it a little bit more masculine. And whenever I'm doing anything to make the face look more masculine, I always create that line that goes closer to the mouth instead of curving upwards with a contour. That will give it a little bit more of a square jaw shape. Next, I'm gonna add a little bit of pink to all of the purple areas. When I originally drew this out, I had it as a much brighter, more neon purple, but that's not something that I have in my kit. Then I'm gonna take some Endura Prime Blue and a little bit of Prime Black and just add a little bit of a shadow for the ears. Next, I'm going to take some UV aqua color in blue and some Mayron mixing liquid and spattering that over for freckles and little spots. And taking my brush and adding more. Next, I'm going to take my Viseart in the green colors, both of them. I'm going to mix them together, and I'm going to add that on top of the eye, creating a little bit of a smoky eye with the green. This is going to be the first color I put down. Then that aqua in the UV green, with a little bit of the Mayron mixing liquid as well. I'm going to add the aqua color on top of that and then blend it out with the Viseart. And that's just to deepen the color a little bit. Really blending it out. That way there's no harsh lines. I want to add it to all of the eyes. Also adding it underneath and blending out. Then I'm going to go through with a glittery shimmer powder that I have from a brand called Glam Goth Beauty. I'm going to pat that in the inner corners. And because there's two inner corners on the third eye, I'm going to actually add some onto the outer corners of the eye as well. That way the overall makeup is a little bit more cohesive. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the foundation color and actually add it on top of the blue freckles. I didn't really like how they were looking, so I wanted to just blend them in a little bit. Then I'm going to take the same pink that I added into the purple and just put a little bit into the hairline and then onto the nose and cheeks, giving a flush look. Next, I'm going to add those eyelashes to the third eye as well as their normal eyes. I'm using 747 shorts just to give like a natural eyelash. Then taking that mauve color again and adding it to the third eye, just in the inner corners to give it a little bit of a fleshy look, and then to the white of the eyeball itself to make it look more realistic. Then using that same Glam Goth Beauty shimmer, adding it to the brow bone, to the tip of the nose, and to the cheeks. Then I'm going to take my aqua color in the UV green, add it to the ears, just sort of adding the color into the ridges of the prosthetic ears. Then taking some NYX Control Freak for the eyebrows, just brushing them up a little bit, taming them a little bit more. Then I'm going to take some Pacifica and the Aquarian Glaze, add that to the lashes. Then I'm going to take some Pro Seal, seal it all in before I have them get changed. And then I forgot to turn back on the camera after they changed and sat in my chair. And we ended up doing the lipstick and the glitter. So sorry about that. So I used some of the ColourPop Glitterly Obsessed Glitter Paste. For the lips, I used my Makeup Forever Flash palette with the blue and the black. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this blue mica powder on top of the lips to blend them out. So we can see a little bit of the lip at least. You can see how the glitter really brought everything together. Same with the lips. Now I'm just gonna add on the jewelry into the ears. And with these, I can literally just press in the earrings through the prosthetic itself because none of that is attached to their skin, so it's not gonna hurt them. And the foam is dense enough where it will be able to hold them. Then I'm going to take some Destruct, add it to their hair just to spike it up and give it a little bit of texture. And that is the look. Non-binary Space Babe, coming at ya. Then we went out and met up with our photographer Rachel and took some beautiful shots outdoors by some cool rocks, giving the real spacey abandoned planet environment. You'll have to go to my Instagram to see the final photos. And there we have it, my non-binary space teen on the cover of Nylon magazine. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and found it informative. I had so much fun collaborating with everyone, down from the prosthetics to my model to my photographer. Everything just aligned so perfectly, and I'm just so happy with the end result. If you want to see pictures and behind the scenes videos from this shoot, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Krista Llewellyn MUA. You can also follow all of my collaborators right here. I will also leave a link below with all of their handles. Let's do more of this. More spookiness, more collaborations. It's gonna be a good fall, y'all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.